All right, let's talk about something we've all faced, writer's block. Today, we're diving into a really simple but powerful strategy to completely smash through it. We're going to look at how you can use AI, not to do the thinking for you, but to actually trick your own brain into finally getting started.
You know the feeling, right? That dreaded blank page. The blinking cursor just sits there, kind of mocking you. It's the worst, isn't it? It's this universal paralysis that happens when you have a great idea in your head, but it just won't translate to the screen. We have all been there.
But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't that you're out of ideas? See, the real enemy here, the true villain in this story, isn't a lack of creativity. It's the fear of just starting. It's that inertia, that little voice that says the first words you type won't be any good. And that's what we're going to beat today.
So where does that fear even come from anyway? Well, a huge part of it comes from this myth that we all have in our heads, this idea that we're haunted by the ghost of Shakespeare and we're pressured to create a perfect masterpiece from the very first word.
And look, this is really the heart of the problem. We put this unbelievable pressure on ourselves. It's this idea that we've got to be prime Shakespeare right out of the gate, channeling some kind of literary genius. But that expectation, that is exactly what paralyzes us and keeps us from writing a single word.
Okay, so let's break this down. Myth versus reality. The myth is this romantic idea of a solitary genius, just waiting around for a lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. But the reality? Productive writing is actually a structured process. It involves using tools, and the #1 goal is just to get words on the page. The magic, the genius, it's not in the first draft. It's in the editing that comes later.
So how do we get into that reality mindset? Well, the secret weapon is what I like to call a blueprint. And I don't just mean a couple of bullet points. No, I mean a hyper-detailed, super granular list that leaves zero room for guesswork.
And building this thing? It's actually super simple. First, you just pick your big, scary task, a report, a blog post, you name it. Second, you break it down into smaller, logical sections. And third, and this is the absolute key, you detail every single tiny point you want to make in each section. Get really specific. The whole idea is to turn one terrifying task into, say, 20 super easy, manageable ones.
Okay, so you've got your super detailed blueprint. Now, where does AI come into play? This is the trick. You're not asking AI to be the author. You're asking it to be your helpful sidekick, the one who gets the messy first part of the job done.
We're going to use AI to generate what I call the fluff. Now, fluff isn't a bad word here, not at all. Think of it as the connective tissue. It's the sentences that bridge all of your brilliant points together. It's that rough first pass that transforms a simple list into actual paragraphs.
So here's the magic trick. You take that incredibly detailed blueprint you made, you copy and paste it into your favorite AI tool, and you give it a really simple command like, flesh this out, or write a first draft based on this outline. You've already done the heavy lifting, the thinking. You're just handing off the initial typing to your new assistant.
So why does this actually work so well? First off, it absolutely shatters that inertia. You're not looking at a blank page anymore. You've got words to play with. Second, it gives you raw material, and I promise you, editing is 1,000 times easier than creating from scratch. And most importantly, you are still the architect. The ideas, the structure, the core message, that's all you. This whole thing is about getting momentum, not about achieving perfection on the first try.
All right, this all brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. And it's a huge mindset shift that could honestly change how you approach pretty much any creative project from now on.
I want you to really let this next one sink in. Thinking about writing is not writing. You can have the most brilliant, amazing, world-changing idea, but if it just stays locked up in your head, it might as well not exist. Thinking, planning, even worrying about it, none of that is the actual work. So here it is, the big takeaway. The only thing that actually moves the needle, the only thing that counts, is the physical act of getting words, any words, down on that page. It doesn't matter if they're perfect. It doesn't even matter if they're fluff from an AI. All that matters is that they exist, because now you have something you can shape, you can refine, and you can make your own.
And that really leaves us with one final powerful question. If the single biggest barrier to creating anything is just getting started, and now you have a tool that can instantly wipe that barrier away, then what is it that you can't create? What project have you been putting off that you can finally start right now, today?